Hello there. Hello there, World of Tankers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the T26E5 Sheriff. This is the Tier 8 American Premium Heavy Tank that has come into the stores today for the price tag of $15. Now, you may be thinking, this isn't Blitz. Why are we looking at a YouTube video for the 25E6 Sheriff? Now, this video was posted by World of Tanks Blitz September 20th, 2019, when the tank first came out in crates, and it has over 42,000 views. Now, this one video here has more views than my entire largest video on the channel, which is my top 4 worst premiums, like 35,000. This one singular video on a Tier 8 premium has more views, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars Wargaming probably made off of this one tank from this video here. And I just wanted to play one quick scene for you guys, which really gets me mad about the vehicle, which is this.
Against you in court.
It seems the robbers are rejecting the sheriff.
Now, we have a Panther 2, a VK-168, and an RU-251 shooting at the frontal armor of a sheriff. Now, the RU-251, yeah, that wouldn't penetrate. That's got about average pen, I think, like 175-ish, so that wouldn't pen through the sheriff's upper plate. But the Panther 2 is sitting over 200 millimeters, and the VK-168 is sitting at around 220 millimeters thick of frontal armor. And
Demands.
Look at that. 190 million.
yeah, look at that. 190 millimeters of frontal armor. And by the way, that's effective. And a VK-168's bouncing off of that frontally? Yeah, I don't buy it. Neither a Panther 2. Wargaming, in my opinion, falsely advertised how the tank works. Let me load up World of Tanks for you guys really quick here. There we go. But in my opinion, Wargaming completely falsely advertised how the vehicle is meant to be played. Because in that video, they showed it being a frontline heavy, fighting off against high penetration rounds. My VK's got over 230 millimeters of pen with calibrated on, and there's no way a 168 would bounce off this tank's frontal plate. So, of course, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the tank, telling you, in my opinion, if it is worth the price tag, and if it is just a good vehicle overall. Now, the way Wargaming showed it to be played is completely incorrect. So if you bought the vehicle off of that basis and you play it like a heavy, it's not going to do well at all. It's meant to be a heavium, which is a medium heavy tank. It fights mediums a lot better because the frontal armor, as Wargaming said, is 190 millimeters thick, which means that if we look at the enemy lineup right now, that E50, easily going to pen me. T92E1, easily going to pen me. That Chieftain T95, also easily going to pen me. The Tortoise is easily going to pen me. The Panther 2, easily going to pen me. And the Tiger 2 is easily going to pen me. So every single vehicle in the enemy lineup can actually pen me frontally. And yeah, that's not fun. So the part of it being a heavy doesn't really stand up in my opinion. It's more of a medium tank, and in fact it acts like a medium too. It's got a medium tank type gun. It's got 232 millimeters of premium pen, not premium, standard pen with calibrated on, which is a very solid amount. That means that you're easily going to be able to get out the shells and dish out the damage. As well, it's got around 2,500 damage per minute, and if you're putting on calibrated, that's even more. It's about like 2,600. It's crazy how much DPM the tank has. But there you go. You can see the frontal armor not really doing its job there, as it just bounces, or I did not bounce, as I should say. I'm getting all my words confused. But yeah, the frontal armor will not stand up a chance against any of the Tier 8 heavies in the enemy lineup. Even this KV4 is easily going to pen me with 227 millimeters of pen, and I don't want to trade with that, of course, because yeah, it'll out-damage me. That's the other issue, is that these tanks deal a lot more damage than I deal. Like, the Chieftain T95 doesn't so much, it's dealing 225, but the Chieftain T95 actually has frontal armor, where my tank doesn't. But we do still have actually the DPM advantage over that Chieftain. So let's get another nasty shell right into the frontal armor. You can see, if you get the gun out in a nice shot, you're going to get the damage just piling up. But there's another issue with this tank, which you've already seen actually happen to me, is my driver was killed there. And I've actually had my driver killed about every other game I've played in this tank, which, as you can guess, is pretty frustrating, because it's meant to be a heavium, so you play it, a heavium playstyle, and it gets taken out, the driver, every single time. But we're actually doing pretty decently in this matchup here. I'm not sure if we're going to win, because the enemy team still has their T92, but they're all one-shots. The main guy I want to target is that Tortoise. So enough about the vehicle, just talking-wise. I'm going to get into the armor profile. The frontal plate is 190, but the turret is where it's really at. It's an American vehicle, which means that that turret is super rock-solid thick. It's about 300 millimeters effective, and when you're using your gun depression, it's like 350. You're never getting through that turret armor. It is just completely impenetrable, which is great. Now, I want to get that Tortoise, but the issue is that can't really take out a Tortoise when it's got the height advantage on you. So I'm going to be pushing out here as quickly as possible. Hopefully that tortoise will not be hitting us. Chances of that shell hitting are about 0. And yeah, we're probably going to die here. I didn't realize that that E50 was pushed into that position, so there's not much I can really do. Yeah, we're not going to win this match, which is kind of a bummer. But there we go, another nice tap into that E50. Let's back up before it hits us. Come on, back up quicker. There we go, another nice tap. Let's put on the adrenaline here. We're actually going to out damage per minute this E50, which is crazy how much DPM the tank really has. Hopefully this E50 does not high roll us. Come on, please don't. It did. So we actually did a decent job there, but you can see armor isn't really a virtue on the vehicle. I didn't expect to bounce any shells this game, which we didn't. So when you play this tank, sort of imagine that every single tier 8 and tier 9 vehicle is easily going to overmatch your frontal armor. If you're up against tier 7 tanks, yeah, then you can say about a 50-50. Your shells are going to penetrate, but I've played this tank about 20 times today, and every single shell, I'd say about 90% of shells that hits my tank penetrates, and in fact, I don't think I've had one tier 7 matchup so far. But that was a good, solid game to show you the gun. It's got great DPM, great penetration. The premium pen is 292, so you don't need to worry about penning people. I actually really like the gun on the tank. Now, the issue with the Alpha is that it only does 240 damage, which, when I'm trading, even like that KV4 there can easily out-trade me. Like an IS-5, that's dealing almost twice as much damage as me. So that's one issue with the tank, but we did get out 3,000 damage. So, as you can see, the damage per minute is great. I just want to check what it is. Yeah, 2,500 with gun rammer on. I would suggest to run calibrated. Your heat pen goes up so much. It makes you so easily be able to pen opponents. But yeah, the average damage on the tank, 240, isn't spectacular. And when you're loading premium, 200 really kind of sucks for the tank. That means that literally, if you're going up against like a VK100 and let's say you need premium to pen its side, well, it's going to be dealing over twice the damage back to you. And it's easily going to pen you. So that's the issue. So this is a heavium, as I said, meant to play with the mediums, because medium tanks don't actually carry that much penetration, or at least they didn't used to. But most vehicles that keep coming into the game have more and more penetration. The FV301 has 220 millimeters of standard pen. The Pantera has 225 or something like that. Most mediums actually have a very solid amount of penetration, but I don't worry that much about mediums because you actually have more damage per minute than most mediums, and you've got way more armor than the average medium tank. So overall, you've actually got a very solid chance at dealing with the mediums. You've got a decent top speed of 42 kilometers per hour. Your turret traverse is excellent, and as well, you've got a more accurate gun than most medium tanks. But the funny thing is, even medium tanks out-damage you. Like, let's see the enemy lineup. Well, I guess they don't really have mediums that much on their lineup, but if we were up against, like, any Russian mediums, T54 Mod 1, T54 Lightweight, even that light tank is dealing more damage than we are, so they really get out the damage. Now, I'm noticing our AMX 1375 camping in a bush, because, you know, that's always good, and same for our Tiger P. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun lineup, isn't it? I'm not expecting a victory here. What's kind of sad is I've lost about every single game I've played in this tank today. I've played about 20 games, and I've lost about, I'd say, 75% of them. Tried my best, tried to get out the damage. It just hasn't been working well for me. So there's actually a bounce. We bounced a tier 7. As I said, it's decent against tier 7s. I can actually angle it at a degree like this. That's an SU, though, and I don't really want to play with that. There we go, nice tap. SU, I'm not too worried about. Unless it loads the premium, then SU will probably be punching through me right there. But again, tier 7 tanks struggle to penetrate it. In a tier 7 matchup, I am pretty much God. I don't need to worry about people penning me. I've got the penetration. There you go. Another shell bouncing right off the upper plate. We've got that... We've got the FCM, who I think might actually think it out-damaged per minute to me, but it doesn't, which is nice. So we've got the DPM advantage. We're going to be pushing out here aggressive. Let's see if we can spot that FCM. No, unfortunately that shell missed just by the slightest bit. But let's try and flank them, actually. I know the SU-152 is most likely sitting back here. Well, actually, you know what? SU-152 spotted there. We've got the E25 pushing very, very aggressively here. Can we actually drive over this? If we can, that E25 is not going to be doing much. But there we go, another tap into that E25. So we have obliterated that E25. DPM is amazing on the tank. In fact, I'm going to say right now, for $15, I think the tank is worth it. This is better than the Chrysler K. And this tank it's a great vehicle. It's just that it falls apart. So I just wanted to have a big forewarning when I started the video showing you that the armor profile doesn't stand up and you can't be a super aggressive heavy player. Now this is a good example to show you an Action 10 against it. Now the Action 10 actually has less alpha damage than we do, and I'm not too worried about an Action 10 because we can actually out-trade it here. And the Action 10 is starting off with less hit points than us, and yeah, we're almost out-trading this Action 10 even with shells. So I can just back up here, wait for him to pull out, and then tap the Action 10. And I'm not sure why this player really pushed so aggressive on us, but again, I'll wait for our reload to pop out. Then we'll pull out, tap the Action 10, and yeah, Action 10 has been turned into smithereens. Now, there is a couple advantages the Action 10 has. Of course, it's got way better armor profile, which is, you know, having the armor is definitely a better benefit. The Action 10, in my opinion, is a stronger vehicle just because it has that armor. But we were able to do great this game. We didn't really hit that last shell, which would have broken us the 3,000 damage barrier. But overall, excellent game. Good job on the team. I'm not sure how we actually won that, judging that our team was all camping. But again, you can see here, the tank works great. It does a wonderful job in a good tier matchup. But this is sort of false on how the armor works. We still didn't, you know, bounce all the shots from that Carnarvon Action 10. I'll play one more game in the tank because I really just want to get into one match where I can show the armor profile just fall apart immediately we get taken out. But let's see what we're up against. Now, this is actually a great matchup for the vehicle. We're up against Tiger 2. The T-2020 has no armor as it is, so we don't need to worry about that. Penetration, everything on the tank armor-wise is great. The turret is about 350 thick through the mantlet. The edges are about 250. It's actually got great turret armor. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression. And one thing I want to clarify, a lot of people always say, oh, the cupola is so easy to penetrate. It's not. The cupola is 250 millimeters thick, which is actually the thickest cupola, I'm pretty sure, at tier 8. It's very, very troll to penetrate it. Don't even bother. If you're going to go for it, might as well just pull out, take the 240 damage, and tap it in the hull armor. But then it's probably going to tap you back. I can really easily trade with heavy tanks as long as they stay out in the open. So if you're countering a sheriff, all you got to really do is wait for it to play aggressive, and then it falls apart. So I hope that the enemy team pushes aggressive right across from me here, because I can put my tank in this gun depression position, and probably one versus, you know, I can easily just fight them all. So there we go. Nice tap into the T26. I'm already going to slap on my adrenaline here. Let's get another tracking. Well, you know what? That looks like it was going to pen, but it actually didn't. So that kind of sucks, but we've got the Tiger. Let's load our great heat. Now, we did bounce off the turret armor there, which kind of sucks, but, you know, we've got so much damage from it, it really doesn't matter when you bounce 1 or 2 shells, because I'll just keep getting shell after shell out. Now, I want to know where that player actually penned us. You know, I actually have no clue where that shell connected in our tank. That's very odd. I've never actually seen that happen before, but, hey, sometimes you all get those weird penetrations and bounces that happen on the armor. Now, that M6 is a very strong tank, but, again, the gun makes quick work of that M6. Our armor penetration values are just great. So we've got the SU here. I'm actually not going to try and play with that because the SU will easily rip us. Even with the stock gun, I think the SU's got great penetration values. But yeah, damage from it. We've already broken 1,000 damage here, and I'm not really scared of any opponents we are going up against. We've got that SU right here. Actually, that SU is stock, so I'm not super worried. We can trade. That Sturra Mill missed us by about 1 centimeter, which is, yeah, that's kind of unnerving. Nice tap into the T26, tracking him. Come on, J Panther. Yes. So there we go. One vehicle taken out of the match. We've got that FV301, which is one vehicle I actually really am scared of in the Sheriff here, because it outdamaged from minutes to me, I'm pretty sure, and as well, it's got way, way good penetration for a tier 8 light tank. So we've got that M6, who we're going to be tapping another shell, hopefully, right through the turret. We're not, you know, whatever floats the game's boat. We've got the Tiger 2 flanking behind us, so I'm going to quickly change position after this, after we finish off the M6 here. But again, putting on our adrenaline, I'm pretty sure we can actually penetrate it right through the, maybe not. I can't see where the weak spot is on the tank. I know that there's also a weaker lower bar. There we go. So we didn't need premium for that. We've got the Sturra Mill right here. Let's tap a nice shell into you. Nice roll. And all that's left are the 2 heavies on the enemy team. Now, I think the heavies kind of screwed their team here. They should have pushed right where I'm sitting. This would have been a good position for the heavies, but you know what? That was definitely a mistake on the enemy team. And that ISG is probably going to whip a large chunk off, or not. Okay, that was unfortunate. In real life, I'm pretty sure that shell would go right through that bar on the bridge, but let's at least get our... No, never mind. So, no, we're not going to get any shots. I should just be quiet on those. But we will penetrate this Tiger. There we go. At least I can say that. And again, we broke 2,000 damage. That's any bit over 2,000 damage at tier 8 is a solid amount. easily able to tap that final finishing shell into the Tiger 2. And you can see the tank does a good job. 2,500 damage. We could have easily gone on in this game, more and more damage out. And it does a great job in the given scenario if you know how to run it. Now, I would not suggest this tank for beginners because it's very hard, but I actually think it's worth the price. $15 for such a strong vehicle is good. The reason it's dropped so much in price is because so many people have a bad rep on the tank. It earns great credits, as you can see, 60,000 there. We fired quite a bit of premium, 75,000, and even in that defeat I played, let's see how many credits we earned. We earned 59,000. So it's a great tank, earns good credits, has great penetration. Overall, I think it is worth the price. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. But other than that, I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.